I'm here once again.
We're here.
I don't even think I don't want to introduce you anymore. It's just people will know your voice.
I just need to come in and be like, what?
And like, oh, Courtney's on the podcast.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
They'll know.
So yesterday I put out some, asked for some questions, and we actually got quite a few.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Are they appropriate or inappropriate? We're answering all of them.
They're good.
Okay.
They're good. I'm pulling them up right here.
I love this. Because people listen to us. Actually, I had a lot of, I had a few positive comments about my roasting you. People really like when I roast you.
What? What did you even roast me about? Isaac, you're so great. I love you. You're awesome.
You were talking about like stats, and I was like, oh no, we were talking about what we see on social media, and you're like, I don't see that. And I was like, what do you see? Like calories and like Apple Watches?
Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
make fun of me.
You.
That's good. I'm glad that the people enjoy that.
Yeah,
Thanks,
they're like,
everybody.
more of Courtney making fun of Isaac, and we'll tune in.
I'm about it. Okay. I'm not even going to skim through them. We're gonna hit them all.
Okay, I like it.
We'll go, and I'm not going to say who wrote.
Wait, can I give a disclaimer that I have Sudafed in my system right now?
Oh yeah.
So like, I might say some thought-provoking shit,
Yeah.
but I also might not remember even recording this. So.
I have Sudafed in my system right now too.
Oh my God! So
who
are
knows?
we even here right now?
Who knows? Imagine the podcast comes out. We listen to it next week. It's like,
yeah, it's just like us drooling.
Lost.
Yeah.
Okay. First question: Will going to Lost spin classes improve my running with London Run Club?
Well, hell yeah.
Well, obviously,
Duh.
do it up. Yeah. So I mean,
wait, physically or style wise? I'm kidding.
I will take physically. You take style wise.
Yes.
It will. So if should it replace your running? No.
No.
If you're injured, can it? It's not a bad thing. Especially like I know you guys go fast and stuff like that, but like if you can kind of stay in a zone 2-ish, which is a little bit different on a bike, of course that sort of cross training will always benefit you.
I do find the cycling, now doing my running with cycling added into it, I do find it is super helpful in terms of like not taking that impact to the joints that you would in running. But I do agree that it doesn't replace it. So you do have to do a bit of both. And if you are doing both, you need to like map what that looks like so that you're not overdoing it.
100%. So the one thing I always tell my clients from a strength side of things is obviously strength training is super important when you're running, but don't ever do like a lower body heavy day before a fartlek or a long run.
Yeah.
So I think the same thing can kind of happen with spin is it's like, don't do a really hard spin class before a fartlek or a long run.
Yeah.
Especially when you get 8 weeks to your marathon, because that's like when you want to be as fresh as possible. But like during base training and stuff like that, when you don't have a race plan, like do both.
And ebbs and flows. Like if you're getting, like right now, I'm getting close to our race, so I'm trying not to take on too many extra classes, or like I have FOMO. So a lot of times if the girlies are like, ride this class, I'm like, okay. And it just happens that way. But yeah, so I try to like let running be the priority right now. So I think that's kind of what you got to do. Like,
well, thanks for saying that, because now I'm going to get a bunch of hate mail from all of your members being like, so you're the reason why Courtney isn't riding more with us.
We told her to ride and she said no.
Screw you, Isaac.
Yeah.
Cool. So yes, doing a combination of different types of cross training we super beneficial. Will you be doing a live podcast from the Toronto Waterfront Marathon pre and post race?
Oh my God.
We totally could.
We could.
I don't know if it would be a live podcast, but I can have mics.
Yeah, you should do that. Interviewing us before, like when people are like, this is my first drink, like that energy. But like,
but
this
running
is me before my race. And then after, it'll just be me like pants shit, covered in salt. Covered in salt.
Remember, what do we say? You got to wear brown.
Yes.
Wear brown. That is a good idea. Maybe, I don't know if podcast, maybe we do like video though.
Yeah, I think you could make some cool content. But like with everyone, especially the full marathoners will be interesting.
Yeah. I know everybody, man. Everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other type of business besides spin or fitness instructor that Courtney ever considered opening?
Stop. I love that question. Okay. It will come as no surprise that like I've always been like a creative kid, ideas, and not really done anything. You know, when you're like around with your friends and you're like, this would be such a good business idea, and you write it down, you come back to it, you're like, that's the dumbest idea. And actually it existed 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So if I wasn't in fitness, I think at one point when I was like seriously into running, like my friend Kristen and I, we wanted to start our own cereal bar. Like,
okay.
I like kind of going to like get froyo, but
Sure.
it's like cereal and you can like mix your cereals. We'd even have a food truck. And then we'd have like different milks. And then like, I think a place did this and it like did not go well.
You're like, ooh.
And we just shut up about
Yeah.
it. We were like, yep, never. Yeah. What a weird idea. Like, but I don't know. I can't really see.
Cereal bar business.
Cereal bar. Yeah.
It's very specific. I
The
like
pipeline to Lost Cycle to
Yeah,
cereal
yeah,
bar.
yeah, yeah.
No, if I was to do anything else, I think at one point I really wanted to help like disadvantaged youth. So if I was going to do anything else, I think I would, and not to say I won't do this, but
Yeah.
maybe in the future, I really want to help more in like Boys and Girls Club programs for teens
Yep.
and kids that just like need more help getting psyched about life and like wanting to chase their dreams. So I think that will be like in the future at some point.
That's cool. That's cool.
Better than a fucking cereal bar,
Well, hey, man, cereal bar's pretty legit.
right?
Okay.
But what about you? Wait, you should answer that too.
No,
What
man,
would you do?
That was specifically for you.
If you're like, if I wasn't in fitness, I would be like,
Yeah, because I don't know. Something boring.
yeah.
Yeah, probably like
finance.
like real estate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like
Actually, I could see you as a realtor.
I know. So if I can go back in time, I always say this, I would probably maybe do real estate.
Yeah.
But I still like, this is the thing though, is I would never want to do anything different than what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
So
same.
then I can't really say that.
Yeah.
But
I could see you in the realtor game.
but then it's like, I don't know. Well, no, because realtor is different to me than like car salesman.
Yes.
Used car salesman is like very salesy.
Yeah.
Whereas like realtor, like I legit feel most realtors just want what's best
Yeah.
for people. Like I forget that they even make money off the
Yeah,
sale
yeah,
of a house.
yeah.
So I'm like, that's kind of cool to me where it's like, I can help you find your forever home or
Yeah.
whatever. But
That's cute. I love that.
that's boring.
I could also see you, like, if you weren't doing this, I could see you being like, you give me like physiotherapist energy. So I could
Oh,
see you
yeah.
being like the guy that's on like the sidelines for like the athletes, like,
Sure.
you know, bullying them about their nutrition and shit.
Yeah, I'm about that.
Yeah.
I am about that. How do I pace my race?
Ooh, I want to know this frickin' too. This is what I audio
Yeah.
messaged you about that you didn't answer.
I didn't?
No, and then I went out and did my long run workout, and out of spite, I walked my rest.
Okay, so quick side quest. Did you send me the voice note on Instagram?
No,
Or text?
on text.
Okay.
But you were in Portugal, so I'm letting you have a. Oh,
Thank you. So I was just telling Luke, I'm like, because you sent me a voice note. I'm like, fuck it, I hate voice notes.
oh.
I've never told you
well,
this. But the reason I haven't told you this is because I didn't realize on an Apple, they take a voice note and then they
You
transcribe
can read them.
it.
Yeah, you can read it too.
Which like is so much better. Because if I wanted to listen to this voice note, it would take, let's just say, a minute. But
Yeah.
to read it, it takes me 15 seconds.
Totally.
So I'm like, if you're going to send me an audio message, anybody,
Yeah.
text me it, because then it'll definitely be listened to. Not that I'm like some fucking guy that gets all these audio messages.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just so busy.
but it's just, I don't know.
I have to send it through my assistant.
If you could transcribe this into
You know what? It's not to
200
like
characters or less.
put a gender label on this, but I feel like it's because you're a boy, whereas girls are like, listen up, bitch. I'm gonna have an audio recording for you.
Yeah.
So when you leave work tonight,
Yeah.
I am your podcast on your way home. And I'm like, yes,
Oh, yeah.
I live for this.
I will say this, though. So I'll read yours. And then if I see that it's like fun, which
Yeah.
they usually are, I'm like, I want to hear her say this.
Yeah.
And then it usually is a good time.
Yeah, because when it comes through to text, it's probably like broken English.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's good. Okay, so how do I pace my race?
Yes.
So first off, I was just literally talking about this with someone today. If it's your first race at that given distance, I honestly think everyone should run it slower than what they potentially can run it at, so they enjoy it and they have a good taste in their mouth of how that race feels. I did this with my first marathon. I ran whatever it was and like was so amped up. I felt amazing afterwards. I knew I had a lot more in the tank, which then ignited me to train hard for the next one. And that's where it's like, okay, this is my goal time. So that's the disclaimer. If this is your first time doing half marathon, full marathon, just don't even worry about a time. Go out there, keep it at like your zone 2 pace, have fun, clap people, take the shots on the way through, like enjoy it.
I totally agree with that.
If it's, I have a time that I want to race it in and like, you know, you've spoken with your coach and they think like, yeah, I think you can do it. There's a few different ways that you can do it. One is to just whatever the pace is. So if you want to run, I know this is fast. If you want to run a 3-hour marathon, just because that number is in my head, you would need to run a 4:15 pace. So
which
you can
is
either, which is stupid. So you can either run a 4:15 pace for the entire 42 kilometers.
Yeah.
You can do a positive split, which is you run faster at the beginning and slower at the end. That's not recommended. Or you can run what's most popular, which is a negative split, meaning you start slower and you end faster.
Yeah.
So when I first started running marathons, I was doing the positive split method because psychologically, I'm like, I don't know if I have it in me mentally at the end of a marathon that I can run faster.
Okay, that's where I'm at. So yeah, I'm curious about this.
So I did some more research on like, why is that not the most intelligent method? And from what I gathered, it's because if you run out too fast, you're probably running out faster than you've sort of trained.
Yeah.
Which then means you're going to really deplete your glycogen stores a lot faster, or just use the food that you've had in your body a lot quicker, which is then going to make you fatigue faster.
Right.
So it's like you're using all of your energy and then your lactic acid is building up in your legs and then you literally bonk at however much distance in. So that's the biggest reason why they say you should not go out faster than what you're sort of training for, because bad shit can happen.
Yeah, and conserve then instead.
Exactly. So they want you to be conservative and then
I think what people like me fear with that method, like saving it for the end, and like everything I listen to with running says that too. They're like, save it for the end so that you can have that like fast finish burst. But I think for me, I would be afraid that, am I holding back too much? And then like, yeah, like that kind of vibe. Like how, like it would freak me out if I was going slower for like more than a kilometer or two, because in my brain I'd be like, oh my God, now I got to make that up.
Yep.
So what do you do?
I'm the same. So I still probably would not run a negative split race.
Yeah.
It could work for some other people, but for me, same as what you're saying, like the fact that if I want to run a 3-hour marathon, I'm going to go out at like a 4:17 or 4:18 and then end at a 4:11 or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's scary.
Yeah, that is scary.
So my strategy is usually to just pick your pace. So if it's 4:15, you stick to 4:15, and then you have times in the race where you're like, I feel good, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah.
If you're doing a half marathon, that's not 5K in, that's not 10K in, that's probably like 15K in.
Yeah.
So if you're 15K in and you're holding your whatever pace and you're like, this feels pretty good, pick it up a little bit. And then with maybe 2 kilometers left, you pick it up a bit more. Then with 1 kilometer left, you pick it up. And then 500 meters, you gun it. So it's like, that's still negative splitting at the end of it.
Yeah.
But not so aggressive to me.
I like that. I like that. Especially for people who, like myself, I've never done a race where I've like been keeping an active eye on my pace. Like every time I've done a race, I've been like, I want to do it in under 150. And like, I essentially only look at my watch when I hit each kilometer and kind of like, oh yeah, okay, we're still in a good spot. And I feel like that kind of works for me too. On the runs I've done where I'm not looking at my pace the whole time, I tend to perform better.
Yep.
Which is crazy. And then if I'm like watching my pace being like, I have to stay under this pace, I'm like psyching myself out.
I mean, and you'll start to, you'll get there within the next few weeks where it's like, you kind of know what your goal pace feels like. So at the beginning of your race, I always recommend like taking a look at your watch the first kilometer of the whatever race you're doing. And then when you hit like 2 kilometers in, you can kind of back off and just check it every once in a while, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be way faster. Because
Yeah.
you are going to be faster in
A race.
in a race setting.
I know, which is so wild. I try to
and you
explain this
have
to
to
people.
hold yourself back.
Yeah.
So that's the heart. And it doesn't matter how many times I tell this to people. Doesn't matter how many times I tell it to myself.
Yeah.
It just, it happens.
It is magic on race day what you can do. And
For sure.
every single race I've ever done, I've noticed this. Like, it would not shock me if people who are like their long run zone 2 is averaging between like 6 and 6:30s, that on race day they could pump out 5:20s, no problem.
I know.
Isn't that crazy?
It's nuts. It's
So
nuts.
I remind, like, some of my gals are doing this race too, and I'm like, you could knock a whole last minute off your pace
For sure.
in a race, no problem, and it's nuts.
For sure. Which is why it's so important to train zone 2.
Yes.
Because then it's, you know what I mean though? Because then it's like you can knock
Yeah.
a minute off this or 2 minutes off this.
Yeah.
So yes, my goal or recommendation usually for race pace is to pick whatever pace you need to hit your goal time.
Yeah.
Stick with that during the majority of the race, and then near the end of the race, if you feel good,
Yeah.
pick it up.
Another thing I would just add to that, like, if people say even aren't using a watch, because it's possible people aren't using a watch, or shit happens on race day, say you like your watch isn't charged or whatever, keeping in mind that every race has pace bunnies.
Yep.
So there's
Yeah.
times when I was like, I don't want to look at my watch, but as long as I do not let that fucking 2-hour
Yeah.
pace bunny pass me, then I'm good.
Yep.
And that can be kind of like,
100%.
you know,
Yep. It's very, very good.
they're the enemy at that point. You're like, if that motherfucker,
With the little, a lot of them.
yeah, you're
will
like,
have
get
the
out of here with
ears.
your ears. Running faster than me while holding a sign.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
How are you doing it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Y'all both have races coming up. What song will be opening your race day playlist?
Shit. Good one.
Ours are going to be so different.
Honestly, they might not be, though.
Yeah, like, let's be honest. You're going to say a band I've never heard of.
No, because you like that Aria song, and we both agreed on that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a lit song.
So, but do you want, because there's some thought that goes into this.
Yeah.
The beginning of a race, you're not racing. You're literally walking because
Yeah.
there's 10 bajillion people
Yeah,
around
yeah.
you. So I always start my first song is like usually something pretty like slow or
Yeah.
not exciting.
Or something you don't care about. Yeah.
It's more of like, I like get this trash out of here.
Yeah.
Just get me going. And then I put the amped up song. So first song on the playlist. Do you know who Cam Cole is?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, so Cam Cole, I think it's called Mama, will most likely be the song that I start off with.
It sounds like
it's like bluegrass.
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like
like that.
Okay, I'm kind of here for that.
Yeah.
I'm low key here for that. I don't know what I would start with. It would probably still be something kind of like hip hoppy, like entering the ring style. But I have so much music. So I had made a race day playlist for Forest City, but couldn't do Forest City. So I'm really gonna fine tune that list and just I have access to so much good beats. So it makes it easy, but I like that I make these lists so long ago. So when I hear the song again, I'm like, oh yeah, this was a good call.
Yeah, no, it's good. And then I strategically will put songs during different points because you can see the hours.
Yeah.
So it's like that Aria song.
Yeah.
Like that needs to come on at a crucial time.
Yes.
That's like 27K in.
Yeah.
And
And
then
so
I
you're
have
so calculated.
Like Still Dre, dude.
Yeah.
That song will come on at like 30K.
Yeah.
Like, Dark Thoughts require upbeats.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
See, this is so Isaac Core to have your music mapped out for what time you're going to hit it.
For sure.
And me, this will come as no surprise. I'm like, race day playlist shuffle, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I could be finishing my race to Jan Arden. Could I be your girl? So like, who knows?
And then you could see like the total as well. So it's like, all right, I don't want this playlist to be over 2 hours and 55 minutes because I'm going to be done by then.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I do like that. I like making a playlist and being like, ooh, I have 2 hours of music. Won't need it. And then right now I'm like kind of sick and I'm like, who knows?
Maybe what is my backup?
Yeah.
Or it should be like everything over your goal time is horrible. Like just classical music that's not amping you up.
Yes. If you hear shitty music come on, it's like, oh no.
That's it.
Fuck.
What are your go-to dinner meals?
Oh.
And by the way, this isn't all running specific. I should have started.
Just like in general?
Yeah. What are your go-to dinner meals? You go first.
Oh man, I was hoping you would. I'm eating a lot of pasta right now, so I feel like that doesn't count necessarily.
Well, why not?
I love chickpea pasta with like chicken or beef sauce. Pretty plain. But I also am a huge fan of like tacos, bowls, burrito bowls, stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah. So Caitlin is doing like the majority of the dinner cooking with Mateo, which is like fantastic. I'm not going to complain about that. So like the meals are kind of all over the place. But like one of my favorites that's just so easy and just so bro-ish is literally just rice and beef.
Oh my God, that was like jerks too. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Rice, ground beef with like taco seasoning on the ground beef.
Okay, yeah.
That's my jam.
I hear of dudes having this as like their breakfast too. And please, no shade to anyone who does this, but like, please slap me across the face if I ever come to you and tell you I'm eating ground beef and rice for breakfast.
What's wrong with that?
I just can't, like right. I'm here for the egg girlies. I'm here to like stand up for eggs.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Whatever. You do you. You do you. Okay, good question.
I feel like people, when they ask what we eat, are expecting us to be like, so I start my dinner with like a boiled piece of chicken that has touched nothing.
You don't do that?
We actually kill our own chickens too to make sure it's pure. Like,
absolutely. No. Absolutely. F, marry, kill.
Oh.
This is definitely for you. F, marry, kill, spin class, Ninja Creamy, Brat Summer. And then I want you to try to guess who wrote this.
Okay, Keegan for sure. And that was a perfect setup because he is trying to make sure he gets mentioned on this podcast every time. And Keegan Kid, I love it. I love it. Okay, Ninja Creamy.
So spin class, Ninja Creamy, Brat Summer.
Fuck, marry, kill. Okay.
They're all good.
I know.
I think you just gotta say it.
I think I would say fuck spin classes, like good fuck, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's whatever you want.
Marry ninja.
Oh, wow.
Kill brat. Because that's a temporary thing, kids. We bring it back again, but...
Is it dead now? Is Brat dead?
I don't think it's dead because Charlie XCX is coming out with Mole, but
okay.
It will be at some point. But
it's a good answer.
I don't know. I panicked.
That's okay. It's good. It's good.
What, are you going to answer that one?
I don't know.
You're like, I already forgot what brat is.
I would probably F Ninja Creamy.
Yeah.
Marry spin class. Kill Brat Summer.
Okay.
Yeah. Because spin class is just reliable. It's there for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Notice I didn't even say marry spin class and I run spin. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
cool.
That's okay. I'm about it. Okay. Ooh. So it's funny enough. When I read this, I thought this question was for you, but knowing who this person is, I don't think they know who you are because they're not from in town.
Okay.
But hey, I know your reach is massive. Cannabis, elevate your heart rate when running? ?
I feel like that's a plot. Like that's a plug. Like that's a, what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
That's a mole.
Yeah.
They must know. Isaac, you answer that.
Well, this is the thing. So scientifically speaking, I don't know.
It does.
Anecdotally,
yes.
I know that you would run.
Right? Remember my heart rate was so high and Isaac would be like, you need to slow down. and I got a heart rate monitor because I was like, which I will say my heart rate monitor chest strap does bring more accuracy than just the watch.
For sure.
But the one day I texted you and I was like, oh my God, craziest thing. When I didn't have a bong toke before my long run, I stayed in zone 2 at like 525. So I was like, isn't that crazy? And you're just like, oh my God, Courtney. So yes, it does elevate your heart rate. Like caffeine does as well. So if you're trying to stay in zone 2, like I wouldn't, but if you're doing whatever, like speed work and you can do that stoned, then like pop off. I've done it a few times, but like
if for sure. And then there's more to the question. It says if it does it still count as zone 2 if it's a jaunt? So this is the thing: zone 2 doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're high, drunk. It really doesn't matter. Your zone 2 is your zone 2. So
yeah, true.
If your bong tokes are going to shoot you out of your zone 2, even though it still feels easy, it's still wouldn't count as.
But then you can always like. You can always put on your run like, "Hey, I was high." You know?
forgive me by 10 BPM.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a plus
Sorry, I was
10.
high that time.
Good question.
It is a good question.
What is your race day breakfast?
Ooh.
Do you have one?
I think I'm going to go bagel.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Get like a good carb blast and maybe like peanut butter with it.
Yeah. Okay, good.
I think I might do that.
Good. So
what about you?
I did that last time actually, and I mean it worked out well, so maybe I should just do that again. So I'll do 2 sesame seed bagels or 1.5.
Yeah.
Toasted.
Oh, I guess because for a full you'd need.
Yeah, more. And then I'll put a little bit of peanut butter and then honey. That's a big thing. And then I might have a protein shake, maybe, maybe not. And then that would be like in the morning. If I run at 7 a.m., that's at like 4:30 or 5
Yeah.
a.m.
And you're good about that.
I'm good about that. I'll have my coffee then as well. I don't discriminate against my coffee. And then I will chug a 500 milliliter, or sorry, with that, I also have about a liter of water.
Damn.
With electrolytes.
Yeah.
And then about 30 minutes before my race, I'll try to have like 500 ml of water. And then 15 minutes before my race, I'll have a gel.
Okay.
And then during my race, it's whatever my.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Is.
No, that makes sense. It sounds like so much to get in before a race, but for a full, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am finding that like doing my prep work in advance is helping me for my long run. So like Friday, Saturday, getting a lot of carbs in.
Yes.
And then even if on Sunday morning I don't get the best breakfast, I feel so like loaded up from the weekend because I have a small bladder. So like if I drank a liter of water before my race, I would absolutely ruin my whole race because I'd be having to stop. So I literally kind of have no choice but to hydrate during and leading up to.
Yeah. And that's see, like this is a key portion of this question as well.
Yeah.
Is everybody's going to be different, and that's why I'm very big on big training runs.
Yeah.
Practice your race day breakfast.
You do really need to practice it.
Yeah.
Because some people can do coffee pre-race and some cannot.
That's right. This isn't a question, but some people have been asking me, so I'll put it out to everybody, which is like, I find when I do my race day breakfast or eat a lot of carbs the day before during my runs, I feel like I'm going to shit my pants. I'm the king of knowing how this feels.
You're like, I'm the king of shit.
That's it. So during my last race, I played with potentially taking Imodium. And then I did some research into it. Don't take Imodium.
Really?
Yeah. So I forget the exact reasons as to why, but I think it's something about, it can potentially affect the way you're absorbing like different carbs or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like, all right, no, I don't want anything fucking up my intra workout.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So that's one thing I would stay away from Imodium. The other big thing is that I changed, and I think I've already talked about this, but we'll say it again. So the day before your hard training run or race or whatever, I would try to stop eating at like 6 or 7. And like during that day, very, very low fiber, no whole wheat, stick to white.
Yeah.
I'd even be like, don't take any veggies the day before.
Yeah, you have said that. You're like, watch your fiber. Yeah.
Keep the fiber low. Morning of, like, don't even look at a vegetable.
Yeah.
But this is where the coffee thing comes in. Like, it doesn't really affect me in that way.
No, me neither.
So, yeah.
But no, it's true. And I always like recommend not like do what you know. So if like your pre-race meal is like 3 donuts and that's working for you, then do that.
Yeah, just
don't
tell Isaac.
Just don't tell Isaac because he'll shame you. But like, if it's working for you, like, why not? Like, I don't know. There's so much science and data behind so many different avenues that
for sure. That is the problem with it all. Is like, what do you trust to?
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, okay, you have smart people saying doing this, and you have smart people say do this, and then you have equally as smart people saying do the opposite.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck? I don't know either. So what am I gonna like? What do I believe?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of do what works right for you.
Yeah.
I'm newer to London and nervous to try out movements. Talk me into it.
Ooh.
Okay, well, we can just do this for movements and loss because you probably get that as well.
I could talk someone into movement.
Yeah, there was another question that someone texted me personally. Yeah, okay, so you're nervous about trying out movements. Talk me into it. I would say this, which is like you're probably nervous to try out any sort of big group fitness class because maybe you're going to be feeling intimidated, or you see our Instagram and you're like, oh wow, that person has big muscles and I don't.
Yeah.
Where I'll say this, like, it's hard to just try to convince you. You need to actually just come out and experience it. One thing I'm super, super proud of is like we do have an environment that like it's a judgment-free zone. It doesn't matter what you are, like you are going to fit in here, no problem.
Oh, totally.
No one's going to bug you. Like that's the one thing about I think any sort of fitness facility for the most part is we have that one common goal, which is like just bettering ourselves.
And I think remembering, this might get deep for a second, or maybe not at all, but like I think it's deep in my head because of the Sudafed.
The Sudafed, yeah.
But I think we get into this trap of like seeing how something's marketed and then like interpreting our own like assumption about that brand. So before we've even stepped in the door, we're like, oh, these really fit people are on Movement's page.
Yeah.
I'm not as fit as them. So like everyone there is going to be Olympic bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And we kind of build this narrative. And I say this because I do it too. And then we get to said places in real life and we're like, oh, like I'm fine, you know? And that happens a lot. But we have to remember that like what you see online is going to be the best and like whatever version of anything, like a restaurant, you know, performers. That's why we're seeing it the way we are, that we're trying to show you like how cool and exciting it is, which might differ a bit from like the day to day.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, kind of like our vacation photos.
Yeah.
Like we're taking the pictures of the things that look so great. We're not like, you know.
Yeah. Yep. No.
The highlight reel concept.
It's true. It's true. The other thing I would say is something we have added in because like we've noticed this is a big issue. Is if you don't want to do a group class, you can try out a personal training session. So like you can do a free 30-minute personal training session to kind of see like if this is the right fit for you. Yeah. Just to get people comfortable because when they come and then they're like, oh, this actually isn't that bad, then they go into group classes. But personal
also bring a friend.
100%.
It's so fun to do anything with a friend.
Yes.
And like if you can go through that together, it might take the pressure off of you.
Absolutely.
And like, you know, and most friends will want to support you. Like if any one of my friends were like, hey, I'm thinking of trying out like whatever, a boxing gym or something, I'd be like, let's go. Yeah. You know, why not?
Yep. Okay. My question is too long for the question box. What would Courtney say to a guy who might be interested in trying spin, but is tentative because it seems like really intense and also seems like a very female dominated area and also have never done a spin workout before? LOL, laughy face.
Love this.
So very similar to what we.
Yeah. Okay. So I get that because much how like a lot of strength gyms tend to be more like male dominant. I get it. So on the other side of that, coming to spin class where it is more female dominant, same feeling. We'll pause for a moment for the feminist view on this. Like dudes don't often have to be out of their comfort zone in this life. So in a way, it's kind of nice that like guys get that feeling of like, I'm nervous to step foot in here because I'm going to be not outnumbered. And I kind of love that. So it's like now you kind of get to experience what we face every goddamn day. Anyway. Feminist moment unpaused. Getting back to the business here. I love to see men come into our space because everyone loves music. Everyone loves music. And if you don't love music, then like, I don't know how to help you. But like most people, I should say then, love music. And to be able to be in this dark environment and just like doing your own thing, but with other people is like so liberating. And that does not have a gender to it. Yeah. Like if you go to a concert, there's going to be everyone there, right? So it's, you know, like breaking down those walls the same way women have to enter the strength environment. There's so many strength girlies out there now that are proud and showing off how they stand in the gym too. So like same thing for guys. Like come on in. There's room for you. We don't bite all the time.
I'll add to this because I know for myself, it's different because I know you, and like I feel pretty confident in most spaces, but like going to a yoga class or going to certain spin classes, it's not so much that I'm nervous to go into it because there's a lot of females.
Yeah.
Sometimes I take the view of like, do they think I'm going to be the creepy guy?
Well, yeah, because you are a creepy guy, but
it's the mustache.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's honestly like, that's one thing. Like, I'm like, oh man, if I go to yoga class, like I'm going to bring like my wife or something like that.
Yeah,
Like, I don't want people thinking I'm looking like I'm literally there to just
I get
do
that.
the thing.
I get that because we see these scenarios where like, like dudes are checking out girls and they catch them on a camera, like whatever. It's going to happen. But I think it's, like on both sides of that, coming to the terms that like, if a girl's entering a strength space, people are probably going to notice.
Yeah.
But is it going to like consume their whole workout? Likely not.
Yeah.
Same thing with us. If we have like men coming into the space, we're going to notice, but we're not going to be like, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if I'm meant to message him back being like, is it more of a, you don't want to make other people nervous?
Yeah. So I think it's sometimes that. I also think.
Have you ever thought about that? Like in your space with guys, like, hey, I wonder if they think this, like, how can I make them?
Yes. I actually even notice it sometimes when I'm talking to men, like how quickly they'll say like my wife. And I'm like, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't about to pull your pants down. Like, calm your tits. You're not even my type. So it's just, I think it's that overprotection of like not wanting to be seen that way.
Yeah.
And instead we like don't put ourselves out there for that reason where it's like, we kind of have to like talk ourselves out of that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I get that side of it, like not wanting to feel like the creepy guy in the class. But that's also like your environment and the types of people that go there. Whereas like Lost, we welcome everyone. So anyone who comes in is likely going to get like talked to and introduced to because we're like, oh my God, yay, who are you kind of thing. But yeah, I think another thing is because rhythm riding requires rhythm and not typically speaking, not as many men are rhythmically inclined. This guy. Nope. So I think too that we as humans get nervous to try things that we know we might be really bad at the first few times.
100%.
And so when like men are entering a space where it requires them to be able to keep a 1-2-1-2 beat, press pump, all this choreography, they're like, fuck, I'm going to look like an idiot.
Yeah.
So I just won't go.
Yeah.
Whereas like females have that all the time. If I tried to bench anything right now, I would look like an idiot, but I'd probably still do it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, that's fair. That is fair. Good answer, Court. Where do all my questions go? It's good so far. There's a lot of questions.
I love that.
I think there's just one more.
I'm surprised no one asked you questions that like set up for me to roast you. You know?
Well, there's always next time.
Like if they were like, how tall is Isaac?
You're like, real tall.
I needed to get that in.
So my nephew, quick side quest, he's
the same height as you?
No.
Okay, that's my last one.
He's grade 10.
Yeah.
He's like 6 feet.
Stop.
And like bugs me every moment he can.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, how's the weather down there? I'm like, I'll fucking kill you.
But you own it. You're a short king.
Oh,
like,
100%. 100%. It's one that even like when I was younger and stuff or in high school, it never bugged me.
No.
To be small. So I'm like, Mateo, get ready, buddy.
Yeah. It's your time to shine.
Height is not in your future.
Wouldn't that be crazy if
he's like 7 feet tall?
Because Kate is also like what?
She's like 5 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
If he's going to be tall, he's not doing a really good job right now of showing that.
Oh my God, that's
he's pretty
funny.
short, but that's what makes him so cute. Okay, last question, I think. Okay. Do you think running marathons is healthy?
Oh.
I feel like this is from my mom because she's. What's your take?
There's so many ways you could answer this. I think there'd need to be way more context to the question. Yeah. Like, is it healthy for the average person? Honestly, probably not.
Yeah.
But that's why it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like it depends on where you're coming from and what you're trying to do. Would I think of a marathon as healthy for someone who's like never ran a day in their life and they're like, I'm going to go run a marathon? Hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no. I think that would end horribly.
Yeah.
But I do think it's healthy to set any goal and have something that like you care about more than just your day to day.
Yeah, no, that's a good answer. we talk a lot about this concept on this podcast, which is like health is not the same as fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually don't really think running marathons is overly healthy for the majority of individuals because it's so specific. If you want to run a marathon, chances are you're mainly just doing running.
Yeah.
And you're not doing some other things.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like bad things tend to happen. And now I've been in the space a little bit longer and I know a lot of marathoners and all they do is run.
Yeah.
And they always say the same thing is they're like, oh yeah, no, I know I need to strength train, but no one ever does.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault because it's such a big time commitment to train for a marathon. So, I don't necessarily think it's the healthiest thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's like that with anything that's very specific.
Yeah.
Like if you're training for an Ironman, is that the healthiest thing? Probably not.
Yeah.
If you're doing a weightlifting competition, is that the healthiest thing? Probably not.
I agree. And I think it's like...
Okay, you're all done? Okay, perfect.
You got to keep that. You got to keep that. I think it's also like start smaller. Like if you want to achieve a goal in the name of health, start small, like start with something achievable, like a 5K race or something, and then work your way up because like health is so relative to each person.
100%.
So what's healthy for me is not going to be the same as the next person and vice versa. And I feel like we know that, but we need that reminder.
100%. I like it. Okay. Anything else we want to jam on this? We can end and then restart a different one.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. We'll come back not Sudafed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then,
or more Sudafed
or
up.
more Sudafed up.
Yeah. I was going to say, because what time is it? It's 1:52. Yeah, we'll end this.
Okay.
And then maybe we start another one. We'll see.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm
Thank
down.
you.
Yay, thank you.
This is like the most abrupt ending.
We're like, and we're out.
And we're out. Cut. Okay. Thanks for it.